Hello and welcome to Healthy and Active in the Couve. I am Nick Medlock. I'm a personal trainer through NASM. I also do nutrition coaching and I work here at Northwest Personal Training. And with me, as always, is Dr. Trent Corey. He's a doctor of physical therapy. And we do have a special guest today, also one of my coworkers at Northwest Personal Training, Coach Jess or Trainer Jess. I don't know how you like to be introduced, but she is amazing. And we're going to talk to her about kind of everything that she does as a trainer and as an athlete. And then for me and a lot of the other trainers here as an inspiration for athleticism, as somebody who has just ultimate grit. I'll let her talk about some of the super long distances that she's been running over the past few years. But hello, Jess.
Hi, guys. It's really good to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thank you for being on. I've got a couple of questions for you, and I'll let Trent interject some of his questions. But so you were just participating in some long distance races the past couple of years. What are some of those that you've run?
Oh, gosh. Okay. So I have been participating in ultra marathons, specifically trail ultra marathons, for about the past, I'd say pretty exclusively the past 4 years. So an ultra marathon, for maybe someone who doesn't know, is anything that's over a marathon distance, but the more likely distances you're going to see, that's going to be a 50K, a 50 miler, a 100K, and then a 100 miler. And I have done all of those distances in within the past 4 years. My most recent one was the Black Canyon 100K in Arizona, actually about 3 weeks ago.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I just moved away from Arizona a few years ago, but I know that part of the state pretty well, and it's beautiful. I can't imagine running through that. And there's on the I-17, there's a lookout that you can see the Black Canyon and all the mountains and everything. It's gorgeous. So I bet that's a dream to run through.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I do most of my trail running here in Oregon and Washington, but I like to go out of state once in a while. And Arizona is one of my favorites. Arizona has the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen in my life, and and sunrises too. And so that was really, I think, pretty special, is starting right at sunrise and being able to see the sun come up. And it was downhill, so we got to just see miles of trails going downhill and all of the cactuses and beautiful desert colors. It was special. Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, that's awesome. I think somebody was trying to call in case my screen went black. What got you to this long distance and endurance running?
Oh my gosh, that is such a big question. I know a lot of people ask the question, why do you do those obscene distances? And honestly, I think when it comes to endurance events, there are lots of answers. And I think oftentimes the answer for why ultra marathons is different every day. Kind of like in your life, when you pursue hobbies and things, the reason that you're doing them or you enjoy them might change every day. I think from the very beginning, I guess the first thing was that I didn't have a lot of self-esteem and I didn't think very highly of myself. And I was seeking to change that by challenging myself. And it really started with the half marathon, and it kind of just grew. And it's not always about the distance, the growth, that's not always what it's about. But I think combining my love of the outdoors, my love of just moving my body and challenging my body, and then being out there for a long time and forcing myself to kind of face myself and grow as a person, I think that has ultimately kept me going through types of events.
I resonate with that a lot. I'm long of an endurance runner or consistent, but when I started running marathons, it wasn't because I was a runner. It was because I needed to work things out.
Yeah.
And helped me beyond anything else. And even when I got myself up to like 300 pounds almost, I ran my first marathon, and I knew I just heard through the grapevine people expecting me not to finish, and just the empowerment when you walk across that finish line, and the emotions of I did it and everybody else was wrong. There's nothing that can give you that feeling other than accomplishing that. But it also tore my body apart, and so I started hiring coaches. So
yeah. Well, and as almost an exclusive trail runner, and I do actually coach a run group for foot traffic. I do road run coaching, but for my own personal interests, I do mostly trail running. I will admit that.
Trent, is it paused on your end too?
Pause out.
Can be really, really challenging. So I resonate with that feeling after a marathon. That's rough.
I think we may have to have that answered again because the internet paused you for just a second.
Uh-oh. Am I back?
You are back. You could repeat exactly what you said verbatim.
Right. I said I have kudos for all road runners because road running is tough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, how do you as a coach approach that kind of mentality of knowing that may be where some of your clients may be coming from as far as self-esteem wise, and how to push them into loving themselves as well as doing things appropriately for their body?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. It's a big one.
Yeah.
So my preference, I love working with people, women, not specifically women, but I do work with a lot of women in their 40s and in their 50s actually, that are brand new to trail running and are kind of seeking out just gaining a little bit of self-esteem, or gaining just, I guess, being inspired by their own selves, inspired by something that they can do on their own. And I like to let people know that the physicality of trail running, of any running, and it doesn't have to be just trail, is just one piece of it. You spend a lot of time when you're training, whether it's for a 5K or a 50 miler, sorting things out in your head. And so I really like to approach training from full body and its mental aspect too. So for example, I do one-on-one coaching for people who are training for different races and adventures. And part of their weekly workout structure is and can be either journaling or just certain things that I'd like them to think about while they're on their runs, certain things I'd like them to write about that they've discovered during their runs. That's not just the physicality, because I think it's really important to have that growth as your body gets stronger. I also really encourage group running. Everybody thinks they're the slowest. Everybody thinks that they are the one that doesn't know enough or isn't fast enough or fit enough. And so I really encourage people to come to join group runs, because you meet all kinds. And when you're running with people or you're working out with a group, it really becomes less about you if you're focused on boosting other people up. So I really like that piece, and that can be scary for a lot of people to join a group. You always think people are going to be looking at you and judging what you can do. But again, I really encourage, try boosting someone else up, or try just chatting with someone and hearing their story, because it just pulls away from you. And I think then you can kind of gain a little more confidence that way, while feeling good about encouraging other people.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty awesome. Well, I just have to say, as a coworker, you that you have inspired all of us in so many ways, and I just love being in this environment here where we all get to shine, but we all don't have to know all of the things all the time because I can go if you want to have great trail running experience. I'm not the guy to go out because I'm not doing that, but
Yeah.
Jess. So, go and follow Jess in what she's doing or ask her some of these things. And not necessarily that we have to share clients, which you know that we do, but our clients can feel safe enough to have a side conversation in the hall about how to get connected with things. And
Yeah.
so it's great to be in a place where everybody just cares about everyone and we all shine in different ways. So it's not competition, it's synergy.
Yeah, I think that's one of the superstar powers about this team. And, I really wouldn't say this if I didn't believe it, but just reiterating what you said, everyone's got a really special talent or something that they know a lot about or something that they are just so excited about. And it makes us so well rounded. We're not all trying to fit into the same bubble. We're not all enjoying the same hobbies all the time. So it really just makes us grow as a team and be able to offer everyone something different. And I love that about us. I can learn from other people here. And then, every once in a while, I get to meet a client who maybe wants to poke around the edges of trail running or training for a race. And I can offer something up in that arena. So it makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, that's so awesome. Well, Trent and I love getting into the holistic mindset where kind of like everything is connected and not even just the, knee bone connected to the thigh bone kind of a thing,
Yeah.
but nutrition and connection in true relationships. And we had Sherry on last episode, which was our 20th, by the way, Trent.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We've been doing this for a full year now. So happy anniversary, Trent. Um, but I want to know, do you have a holistic approach? You already started hinting at it. Do you also include like nutrition and things like that besides just the physicality and mentality?
So I'm not a dietitian. So I'm going to lead with that. So I am USCA certified as a run coach, an ultra run coach, and then uh, in endurance sports nutrition. So I am very comfortable in offering guidance when it comes to endurance sports nutrition. As a certified personal trainer, I am very comfortable offering guidance when it comes to nutrition just for weight loss goals or feeling your best. But definitely, if it's something that is just very specific questions, I like to refer out. I think it's really important. I guess here's my little tip for people on this. Guidance is great, and you want to start there. If you don't know where to start at all, whether it's daily healthy eating, whether it's maybe you want to try some supplements and you're not quite sure and you want to get some information, or in what I'm really good at, which is offering sports nutrition advice. So how to fuel during, how to fuel before, how to fuel after. That is, you want to start there. But once you get started, if you have more questions, definitely I like to refer out to someone who specializes in that so that we can get the right answers. And what I really like when it comes to referring out, whether it's to Trent, who's a physical therapist, or a dietitian, or, I have a really wonderful acupuncturist, is I like to work with them, so that we're all a big team. So I can say, I'm going to email your specialist and let them know exactly what we're doing here, what workouts we're doing, when we're doing them, how we're fueling, when we're fueling, all of that, so that we can work together to create this very well-rounded program for you as an athlete.
Fantastic. Well, that answers it perfectly. So
Yeah.
it's integrated, holistic approach. So I love to do the same thing. I give a lot of education, but I can't say that you need to do this or that because I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a nutrition coach. But I love steering certain things as far as studying and then being able to ask somebody questions or tell them where to go. The same way that I wouldn't prescribe any medication because I can't, right?
Right.
But I love getting people excited about the topic, and I could just say that you excite a lot of people into maybe even thinking that there is a possibility for them to run in a group, and I can see you pulling people out of their shell and shyness sometimes. So I really appreciate that about you because your excitement is contagious, even among the coaches. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
And we are having some things coming up here before we get too far out of time. We're having a spring challenge coming up. We're also having some cool things running wise. Would you like to discuss any of that before we run out of time?
Yes, so I definitely would say there's a couple things. One, I host a trail run group every Tuesday night. We've been meeting for three and a half years, I think now, at Whipple Creek in Ridgefield. It's right down the road from the fairgrounds. It's a free group run. It's at 5:30 p.m. every single Tuesday. Rain, shine, dark, heat, whatever. Sometimes we have snacks. Sometimes we have guests come. People bring their dogs. There's some people who hike, some people who run, and it's a really fun group. So anyone who may be interested in poking around the edges of trying trail running out, or they just need like a Tuesday break from the norm and they want to get out and do a couple of miles, I would highly encourage anyone to come join us for that. And then as far as road running groups go, I do have a road running group that will be starting April 21st. And it's called Go Vancouver. I better check my dates. I should know this. I'm terrible, you guys. It's through Foot Traffic, our local running shoe store. Our Vancouver location is on April 19th, Saturday, April 19th. Anyway, Foot Traffic is our local running shoe store. They're up on Chekhov by 205. And we're going to have a 5K, 10K, and half marathon training program. We're ultimately training for the Y Racing events, their Apple Tree half marathon. But there are some other races along the way that some of the participants will be joining in on. There'll be pace mentors, so you can follow a group in either your run walk pace or your running pace. We meet Saturdays at 8. So that will be coming up as well.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's what I've got going on so far.
Well, very cool. Well, and then people can call and make appointments with you on a personal training level at Northwest Personal Training. And everything we've said, we can post up on social media. So if anything changes or if people grab the wrong date at first, we can always have all of that and all the ways to connect with you. But Trent, do you have any questions or insights?
I would highly recommend the Whipple Creek group on Tuesday nights. It's awesome. So very cool. I'm lucky to be in that area. At Skyview, and I can run up there. Probably not tonight, Jess, but I'll be over there some other times. But yeah, it's just a really cool laid back group. It just makes you feel at ease. There's all sorts of abilities and levels, and you can kind of join up and you can loop however much you want or as little as you want or hike or whatever. I've had folks rehabbing from injuries and they're getting back into the group. And so, they can kind of start out their own pace or maybe they're just going to do walk the hills or whatever. We figure out what's going to work best. And it's been great to have that collaboration with folks who've been running and then need to get back. And I love having groups like this that they can go out from a PT setting, or if they just are not that well connected. I think it's so important to have community as a group as we run together. I think that's where a lot of us get a lot of the juice of running out of it. You hear the fable of the the loneliness of the long distance runner. And, there are a lot of times on the trail where you are by yourself. And you did mention that, Jess, how you have to kind of, you really can't hide, all those things that come out. And it's really important for us to delve into that. And I love that, that you said about journaling and that kind of thing. And so, but yeah, definitely. I love the fact that, we all have things that we can share with each client, each person in our own unique way. And like, I love to help all things healing. And, but I love the group that you have, and you're being able to structure it in a good way. And, I know that I show people exercises in the clinic here, but I definitely want somebody more in like the training method. That's why I've really, kind of locked down with Nick here. And then also you, of course, Jess, of where I want people to consistently be doing that, right? It's day in, day out. And that's the thing. Keeping people healthy isn't just about, a few set things and then you're done. Or, we talked about the talk the other night with heart health. You can't just, take something for a while or just try a diet for a little while and be like, okay, I've lost that weight. Now I'm done. It's a consistent thing. And I think, just your drive, Jess, so the ability for you to kind of just keep folks motivated and to keep them doing the things and having something to look forward to. You've really created a really great cohesive group in that group. And I love all those folks in there. They're fun every time. They're just welcoming with open arms. And it's just a great thing you're building. And I hope it just continues to grow and grow, because it's really fun to have that connection with each other. And you see it with all the things you guys do with the ultra races and all that stuff. So, but I'm excited for what you've grown, and really happy for you. And, I'm just really glad you're working with all the folks in this community. So
Thank you so much. I love the idea that as we're getting older, and whether you're in your 30s or 40s or whatever, but that we can continue to do things. And what you said about, it has to be consistent. We can grow. We don't have to stop learning and doing new things and having new goals and bigger goals and more as we age. We don't stop somewhere and then this is just what our life is. We can continue to get better and add things and do more things and learn more about our bodies and what we can do in a safe and healthy way, continuously until forever and until it's our last day, And so I really like the idea of people just saying, no, I'm not too old to do this thing. I'm not going to just sit at home because it's raining outside. I'm not going to sit at home because I'm just not an athlete anymore. I'm not in college. It doesn't matter. We're just moving our bodies and we're enjoying being outside and we're enjoying being healthy. And we're just, growing and creating these goals as we go.
that's great. Do you find it's difficult for some people? I mean, if you've seen I work with a lot of folks, and I am one of these folks who's run in college. You've had certain times that you've improved, and then it is kind of redefining the goal, like you were saying, how these age group things, getting you motivated for that next level is so important because, I'm never going to run my 10K PR anymore, right? So, but I don't like the idea of just always having to go further and further, but I do love that as a goal for most folks, but it doesn't always have to be the thing. But how do you find the way that gets people kind of stoked up for, hey, that's really cool. I'm able to run that fast, or to see that progression, even though, as we age, we might decline a bit, but it doesn't have to decline very much. Oftentimes we see people as they get older get even faster, right? So,
right. Absolutely.
yeah.
No, and it doesn't have to decline, but I think an important piece when it comes to that, because you're right, not everyone wants to go longer and longer. Some do.
Yeah.
But I might, but no, not everyone needs to do that. But I think there's a really important piece to phasing your years so that you're not constantly doing the same thing. And that's where people get a little stuck and maybe get a little frustrated, is that they maybe aren't going through a strength training phase and letting that endurance piece pull back a little bit. I was explaining to one of my clients the other day that you don't want to think of training phases where, well, I did a race and now I'm just detraining, or I'm just, my fitness is kind of falling off until I'm ready to ramp up again. maybe the longer running or endurance piece is pulling back a little bit, but that's where we're adding a phase where we're now strength training and we're building strength. So we're not losing endurance, we're building strength. And it doesn't always have to be weights or running fast or running long. It can also be I'm in my mental strength training phase. So during this block of training for 6 weeks, I'm really going to dig into what I can do to build myself up mentally, where I feel that I fall a little short in my beliefs about myself or what I'm able to do. And I'm going to set up a step-by-step process on how I can build that up. Or it could be the nutrition aspect. So I think being able to grow and have new goals, you also need to pull back and train every single aspect. And then that also keeps it very fresh and fun as well. Yeah. Then you're not just doing the same thing all the time.
Yeah, that's great. It almost reminds me of like something you've ever seen, like the aspects of each person's life, like family and health and professional. It's like a wheel, it's like spokes of a wheel. And then some of them are like little tiny, so building up certain parts to like make it more well-rounded. And like some parts are more like focused towards that. So that's great. I love it. So great.
Yeah. And then even volunteering could be a piece. Like maybe it's just not your time in the year or whatever, your season of being fast. Maybe it's your season of being the best cheerleader and, building someone else up. And I find that to be very fun too when I am demotivated is just, am I volunteering? Am I, cheering others on? Am I giving back in a way that makes me feel good? And that really is, it may not seem like a piece of fitness or endurance, but it really is. It all has to be there to, build up that really strong house, right?
Yeah.
Totally. Great.
Amazing. We are going to actually have to get going, but Jess, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was awesome, and hopefully we can have you on a lot more and show the world kind of all the cool things you're doing. But if you guys want to get connected, we'll leave all the things on social media. Check Jess out at Northwest Personal Training. And Trent, I'll let you take the exit for us this time.
Oh, great. Yeah. So thanks, Jess, for joining us today. It was really great to hear more about what you've done and built in this community, and really happy to have you today. And yeah, looking forward to more talks together. I think it's just more the collaborative nature of what we do together can really help people grow and become as healthy and active as we can here in the Couve. So that's what we're all about. So but thank you so much. And thank you so much, everybody, for listening in. Always love to hear more suggestions and how things are going. If you have any other topics we love or other guests you'd love to have here, we'd love to have these conversations keep going and so we can all learn together. So for that, this is Trent Corey, Extra Mile Physical Therapy, along with Nick. And thank you for Jess being our guest today. Signing off for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.